Hey guys, it's Sandy. I know I haven't been on here in a long time. But I was just planning on starting to get back on here to talk to y'all and everything. My life is so different from the last time that I was on here. Okay, my cat's gonna walk right in front of here right now. Okay, that was Hudson. Okay, let me start off by, if you see my teeth in the comments, I'm gonna go and get my teeth fixed, probably get them all pulled and get dentures. Yeah, I just haven't gotten around to it yet. Since I've last been on here, I have a boyfriend. I moved in with him, and then we moved back to my hometown, and things were going pretty good. He had a good job. I had a good job. Then in I worked February 16th, February 15th actually. I worked no problem. Then I woke up 2 days later, and I couldn't move my ankle. It was stiff and it was swollen and sore. And so we went to the doctor, and he did x-rays and everything. He said, no problem, there's nothing wrong. Just go back home and come back in a couple days for, to have it checked again. So by the time the 2 days was up, it had gone to this same pain and everything had gone to my knee on the opposite leg. And I thought it was because I was just favoring that leg, with the sore ankle. So I went there, and same thing again, x-rayed it, saw nothing wrong, and I was supposed to have a follow-up appointment in 2 days again for that. Well, guess what? 2 days later, when it's time to go to the doctor, I can't even get out of bed. It's so sore. I couldn't walk. I couldn't do anything, and so we had to call an ambulance, and I went to the emergency room because now it had hit my shoulder. Luckily, the doctor in the emergency room this time, she took this serious. She started running all sorts of tests. They were thinking COVID, lupus. They even cordoned me off for a while because they thought it was like an infectious disease. They tried everything and they couldn't figure out what it was. So I was admitted to the hospital, and I was there a couple days, and then they transferred me to another hospital, bigger hospital, and that was on February 26th. I went to that hospital. I was there until March 29th. They ran all sorts of tests and tried figuring out what it was. It ends up that it's an autoimmune disease where my body is pretty much attacking itself. And it had attacked my ankle, my right ankle, my left knee, and my right shoulder. The right ankle, it was okay. It improved enough or whatever. But the knee, no, and the shoulder, no. They told me that my knee is pretty much mangled. My shoulder, they said, it's shredded, and they don't know how I was able to do anything with my shoulder so bad, and how I was able to walk around with my knee as bad as it was. So I was in the hospital, like I said, until March 29th, and then they discharged me. But I can't walk stairs. And to get into our apartment, we have 5 steps to get up. So I had outpatient physical therapy, an outpatient nurse, and outpatient occupational therapy. They came here to our apartment twice a week, and we, worked on all that. Sorry. And then they got to the point where we figured out using a shower chair and putting that on the steps, that I could use that 2 legs shorter, 2 legs longer. I could sit on that as I went down the steps. And so we could do that. So I could start going to not in-home therapy. I don't know if I said that wrong before, but I could go to outpatient therapy. I could go out to have therapy done. So in June or July, we started doing that. And I could go to the doctor. I could do everything. Well, around the same time, my calf on my right leg was really sore, and it was hurting, and it was red, and then there was like a spot there that was like oozing, and I had no idea what it was. So I went to physical therapy that day, and I asked the therapist if she could look at it, because I had my doctor look at it. They had sent me to a rheumatoid specialist. She had looked at it. No one said anything about it, but I asked therapy to look at it, and so they called the triage nurse to come in, and they like band-aided up, and they said, we need to get you checked in somewhere. And so I was going to be admitted to the hospital there. It was a different hospital. But instead they sent me to Sioux City, which is yet a different hospital. And they determined it was an infection in my leg, and they had to figure out what the infection was from. So I was there for a week. Things got pretty bad that when I checked in, they were asking me, how I was feeling and everything. And I guess if you tell them that you counted how many Tylenol with codeine you had, how many muscle relaxers, and how much Xanax you have, they sort of say, hey, you've got a problem. And so I was put on suicide watch. By the time I was released, I was let off of it. But for my first 2 nights there, I had someone around, at my bed 24/7. I was sleeping. There was someone there. They had a little TV monitor thing there, so they were monitoring my room at all times. But I was, sorry, I was released from all that before I was discharged from the hospital. Well, they found out that the infection was one that's caused by cat scratches. My cat had scratched me back in January. But then all that time I was in the hospital, I was on a real strong steroid dose. And then I was on steroids for the 6 weeks in the hospital. And then I was on an 8-week regimen of steroids when I got out of the hospital. So all of that, it like killed my immune system, which is why that infection started up. And so then get home and I have to do antibiotics for the infection. So we were doing an IV. I had a PICC line in, and I was doing it myself. First we had the nurse coming in, and then I was doing it myself. I'm sorry. But then after all that was done, I got sick. I got sick for like 2 weeks. And it ended up that antibiotic I had not only killed all the bad bacteria in my body, it had killed all the good bacteria. So I was dealing with that then too. So they put me on a different antibiotic, and that took care of that. I started going back to outpatient therapy at the hospital again. I'm able to walk up and down my steps without using that chair now. And it takes me a while though. I have to use a walker to get around. I had been using a wheelchair, but now I'm okay with the walker. I can't walk on my own yet, and they told me not to worry about starting to walk yet because I have to wait till my body's just not strong enough yet to do it. Therapy yesterday, I had hour physical therapy, hour of occupational therapy, and then a doctor's appointment. And it just took so much out of me that I was in so much pain when I got home that I did take one of my pain meds. It's Tylenol with codeine. And the pain was so bad it didn't even touch it. And so that's just how it's been. But in therapy, I'm loving therapy. I'm getting better. I'm come so far. I still have a ways to go. But part of the thing is, part of why I wanted to come back on here is just to do something during the day because I'm home by myself during the day. My boyfriend has a job, and so he's out at work. I can't go back to work yet. And I don't qualify for disability because it's not serious enough for disability. I will be able to go to work. I've been applying for jobs, work from home jobs. I've applied for like caregiver jobs where it just needs the attendant care, where it's just someone who like basically hangs out with the person. I've applied for other jobs where I was thinking I could use either my wheelchair or the walker. So far, nothing has come through. And so, we're struggling. I finally got unemployment started. I didn't even think to apply for it when I first stopped working. But it finally started coming through. It's not a lot of money, but it's enough that I can pay the phone bill, pay the internet bill, and pay part of rent. And so my boyfriend had been, he's a delivery driver, and so he'd been paying for gas for the van, and he pays part of the rent. So, it was working out. It's a struggle, but it was going okay. Well, he just called me from work because the van, something happened and the tire fell off while he was after he had made a delivery. So he's like stranded in the town that he works in, and the van got towed to the shop, and he's hoping that they'll make a payment arrangement for him. And so, but they're not going to be able to look at it until Thursday. So he's out of work until Thursday. So that means no work this week. So it's a struggle. And so I'm coming on here. You don't have to do it if you don't want to. I'm not expecting it. But in my information, I'm going to leave my Venmo and my Cash App, and also an Amazon wish list that we have. I hate doing it, but I don't know, things come to this. I am trying to do some more crafting and sell some crafts. I used to sell paparazzi jewelry. I don't sell it anymore, but I have a bunch of it. And so I'm trying to make up like little like bags of like 10 or something and selling them for like a really reduced price. When I get all that stuff done, I will post it on here. But I just wanted to come back and start saying hi and everything. My cat, not the one who walked in front of me, did scratch me again. See, and this finger. He used to get like really upset. We said our cat had anxiety, but we have gotten a pheromone diffuser. If you have cats that have anxiety, or they said it also works for like cats that are spraying or peeing on things, or cats that are fighting with each other. To get this, we got it and it works great. The diffuser has it's good for like 60 days, though, at least the one we got, and it's working good. But he's still every once in a while, like when he scratched me here, he was just trying to get onto the wheelchair, and I had just gotten out of it, and I had turned around, and he just like scratched me. It wasn't bad. He's trying to get me not to use a wheelchair too. But anyway, because of that, my immune system because of the steroids, my immune system is pretty much shot for right now. And then because of that one antibiotic I had, there's like the good bacteria is still coming back to try to fight everything. And so I had to get the antibiotic again for this hand because they won't do any surgery on my knee or my shoulder until I'm stronger, because they said to do the surgery, you have to make sure your knee is strong enough that when you recover, you'll be able to do it. And also that I'm healthier, because they're worried with the immune system and everything. I am susceptible to any infections. Part of why I need to get my teeth fixed too, even though dental might not cover it, my insurance will cover it, because bad teeth can lead to more infections. And so that has to get done. But I'm trying to stay positive. But my boyfriend's going to be out of work, like I said, until at least Thursday. So it's a struggle. So I'm going to list those things. If you've stayed around to listen to this, thank you so much. I will be posting like real stuff soon. And it's so nice to see you all again. Have a great day. Bye.